out there, world. Welcome to Blue Green's World. And on finding new stories and new information, I found someone very fascinating to talk to. So, with no further ado, who are you and what do you do?
I'm Jenna Fisher. I'm the director of the ETA Education Training Academy program in Akron.
So, how did this find you? How did you find it? How did this happen?
Okay, well, starting in middle school, I would volunteer with the executive director, Robin, of Community Connections. We're a branch of Community Connections. I would volunteer at the dances she would hold on Wednesday night for adults with disabilities, and they raised money for Special Olympics. And I've always had a heart for people who are different. I have a disability myself. I have ADHD and dyslexia. I was in special ed classes, so I really understand what it's like to not exactly fit in the mold as everyone else does. So this job, I've been with the company for going on 8 years. I got my bachelor's at Kent State in Disability Studies and Community Education, so it just kind of evolved from there. I've really been with the company for a very long time.
So on that end, I have ADHD too, and it was ADD when I was diagnosed as a child. Now it's ADHD, and
Right.
So I guess something people maybe hear this are like, well, they seem like they're fine. I'm considered high functioning. I've learned to redirect my brain and reprogram myself to fit in fine, but what's going internally and what's externally are two different things, is the best way I can describe. So
Right.
I don't know what's your thought process on that when someone says, well, you have this, how do you function?
Yeah, and I have gotten that a lot. People say, but you're smart. And it's not really about that. It's just, I need extra accommodations to do the things that everyone else does. And I can be successful. And I believe everyone can. They just need the proper support and accommodations.
Here, take that to heart, kids. If you're watching this, if your teacher's if you're having trouble with tests, get a separate testing room. They'll let you do that. If you need to move your leg, move your leg. They'll let you do that kind of things nowadays. Just try to work with you because you're not dumb. I used to think till I was like 20 years old, I couldn't remember anything. I'd read a book and go to tests and I would remember anything. And it was just, I had to learn the way I learned, not the way that society taught me to learn is the best. So bless you for doing this, this is great. You're out here actually helping and you do understand. You come from the knowledge of it. And it's hard to explain that to people, and I feel you. I get that. Okay. So tell me about Community Connections. What's their history?
Community Connections. So we started in 2015. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. And it started with one participant, and Robin, and it grew and it grew. And then Jan came on to the team, and she is the supported employment. We also have a supported employment branch, and we job coach and help individuals who do have community jobs complete their jobs, do an interview, fill out the tax forms, learn their job. So she came on, and we've just kept growing since that day, and we serve over 100 individuals today in Summit County.
And where are we located at, just so everybody knows?
We're on Britton Road in Akron, Ohio.
And how would they find you? I think you got a website, if I'm not mistaken. So if somebody sees this, then maybe they want to get involved in the program, or maybe they want to volunteer, because I'm assuming you like volunteers possibly too. I don't know, or maybe services can be exchanged somehow.
Yeah, we are always looking for volunteer opportunities, or for people to come into us. This is something we'll probably have to edit. I have to double check exactly what our
what your criteria is for it?
Not exactly criteria, what the website. I don't know if it's ccneo.com or ccneohio.com.
Oh, that's okay. I'll make sure it's listed below for us.
Okay.
As long as I'll make sure it's listed below the screen. Look down below right there. It is perfect, whatever it is.
Memory.
Yes.
I've seen it for 8 years. But
I understand completely. People ask my address sometime, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
and they're looking at me, you don't know your address? I'm like, no, I do. It's not like early. I can't visualize it at the moment.
Right.
It's hard for me to visualize numbers. I don't know. And people, something that's strange about my mind. But anyways, so what's the criteria? How does someone get involved with this? Is there an age range? How does this work?
So everyone who is in our program is on a waiver through either the Summit DD or the state, and that funds that person to come to our program. We're a service, so there's many different great programs in Summit County, and people tour different locations, pick which one fits best for them, and then they begin. What our program is something for people to do, work towards a goal and not just sit at home. They're able to get out in the community, come to our program, make friends. And specifically our program focuses on the end goal of community employment. So we're all centered around that. We do work with adults, so 18 and up, graduated high school. So that's
perfect. So if anybody's watching this, I mean, there might be employers that are looking to employ people. So that's probably something you're really excited about. So what are some opportunities employers might be, hey, we have a need. What can be offered?
Yeah, I've reached out to a few local businesses so far, and I'm really trying to find more unique opportunities for my guys to get their hands in. And that's a lot of my participants get stuck with what they know, and I want to broaden their horizons of what's possible. So just an entry-level position, what you do, not community, I messed up.
That's okay. So as far as people coming into the positions, it's just a matter of they can contact you and say, hey, I'm looking for some people and here's what we have to offer, and then it goes from there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it is contacting me, emailing me.
Okay, and we'll have that information. You can contact me. I don't want to put the direct information, or you probably found on the website as well, ways to contact you without putting your direct email on here. I don't want to put it out to the world.
My work email is totally fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so how can they connect to you then?
It's JFisher at ccneohio.com.
Perfect. And I'll make sure I list that and leave it on there for a while so you can see it and make sure you get that information. So what kind of things, what's the time frame? Is this like every day? Is this once a week?
Yeah.
How does this opportunity work here?
So the program runs Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We normally have 2 groups going out into the community at a time. So that's 8 individuals out in the community, which leaves us kind of bare bones. We normally have about 13 to 16 people back in program where we offer a vocational lesson. And each day we focus on something different. So Monday we focus on money skills. Tuesday we focus on technical skills. Wednesday is health and wellness. Thursday is workplace culture, and Friday is a review of all the lessons, or we go over a lesson that maybe didn't hit so hard and approach it in a different way. And then we fill our time with clubs and classes that are of interest to our participants. I want to mention too that each lesson has a hands-on component because I want to hit all the different levels of learning. So it was difficult for me to read, take in information, and learn that way. So I really tried to add in like things for visual learners, auditory learners, hands-on, like tactical learning, all of it. So.
And that's important that a lot of schools don't really focus on. They focus on the one way, and here's your written instructions and learn from this,
right.
And you get to learn on your own, which is really difficult to do, without a doubt. So today I saw it was washing dishes we're focusing on today. Now, is there a component to that? Are they actually going to go washing dishes at this point, or do something in the kitchen wise?
Yeah, exactly. So the lesson was on the skill of how to wash dishes. Now I know it's Monday, but every once in a while I like to flip-flop all the lessons around so that someone who's not here on Tuesday has an opportunity to learn something different. But Can you ask me the question again?
Yeah,
It was
possibly
about
if I remember the question.
It was about the lesson.
Oh, just today's lesson was we had a video and we talked and everybody discussed like a lecture about washing dishes,
right.
and the importance of washing dishes and cleaning up. And then everybody disappeared, so I'm assuming they're doing something now in that range.
Yeah. So our lessons again, and so the lesson had a video component and then like a script. So staff was reading how to wash dishes, asking questions, who washes dishes at home, who washes dishes at work. And now they're gonna go make, they're actually making mug cakes and then they're gonna wash them. So the best way to learn is by doing it. So.
Oh, it makes sense. You get to actually do something, and this is something they're making cakes as well.
Yeah, have you ever made like a mug cake?
You put stuff in it, you put it in the microwave, and you make like a little cake. Yeah,
for washing dishes, we got to eat something.
Yeah, and that's tough to wash too. So you really get some scrubbing in there. It's not an easy wash by any means.
Exactly.
It's almost like cooking an egg in the microwave. It's very hard to wash off the plate when it's done.
I do want to mention one thing as well, that some of our participants do already have community jobs, and they come here on their days off to refine skills. So
I think a lot of people in society could do with that. Be nicer people just to get together with social skills. It's for everybody, for that matter.
Right.
So I believe, I do a lot of Goodwilling. I'm a thrift shopper, and I believe I've seen your groups there possibly shopping. Is that?
Oh yeah.
And then possibly working at Goodwill too. I know they're really good with a lot of people working there with different levels of employability, and it seems like a lot of first entry level jobs there. So is that a good location for people?
For sure. Goodwill has their own vocational program. So they have their own thing. However, we've had individuals who have their own independent job that we have job coached that work at Goodwill, and we also take community trips there just to shop like any other person would.
So you're here, and this is the back end of what church is this?
This is the Family of Faith Church.
Okay. And this is, can you tell me a little about, you told me a little about this building so people know what this building is that are from this area here.
Yeah, I always love telling that. So the building was built in the 40s when there was still a dirt road through the area. And the church is called the Chapel of Prayer, which is the reason why this area was named Chapel Hill, because it was one of the first buildings erected in the area. We rent the space from the church on the weekdays, but we're not affiliated with the church at all. We just rent their space, and we take care of it like a person would renting the building. So each participant in our program has a shared responsibility at the end of the day that we rotate out. And we do things like dust mopping the floor, vacuuming the carpet, taking the trash out, just basic things to keep a building looking nice and up and running. And everyone kind of has their hand in on keeping the place looking nice.
And you said you've been here for 8 years now.
I've been working with the company for 8 years. Yeah.
So you've probably seen a lot of growth.
I have.
In people and in the I'm assuming it's grown itself as far as the numbers here. So what's it like seeing someone come in and see them, reach a higher potential than when they first got here, to see them, to see those moments, those, things that like lights top on, it's, I had a lot of those moments in my life, trust me. So what's it like seeing those?
It's amazing. It's why we're here. It's why I come to work. I want to see people improve and reach their goals. We've been known to advocate on behalf of our participants when we've noticed them reaching a ceiling or reaching a limit, like, this person has shown leadership skills. They take the program very seriously. We think it's time for them to move on. We hold a team meeting with everyone who's a part of that person's team, and then make a plan for that person to move on if that's what they want to do. So it's very exciting. We have, many people who have graduated out of our program. The goal is within 2 to 3 years, we have someone move on from us. So
it's kind of good to see them go away.
It's for the best, yes.
Probably gonna be hard. I mean, to kind of, they become almost like a family member.
For
spending time with them. A lot of times you spend more time with the people that you're working with than you do your actual family.
Yeah. And we have people come in and visit us still who have community jobs. They'll order an Uber ride and come to visit us on their day off. Where, our doors are open really for people to come visit, participants who have graduated to community employment come visit us still. So
I guess question about following your heart. You seem to find something that you do and do well, and you're doing something with a purpose. You probably sleep well at night knowing what you do is a good thing. Many people have jobs, and I know I've had my share of jobs where I didn't sleep at night because I hated what I do and I hated the message, but I made money. Money was great, but it wasn't about money. So what's your advice to someone that's, thinking about doing something that's, they're following their heart? You seem to done that. So what's your advice to someone out there that wants to do something that, that's going to make a big difference? And what's your advice?
This is coming from my mom. She always has told me to not be afraid of something if what you're doing is right. And I believe that the job that I am doing is right. So oftentimes when I go out on a limb or when I come up with a new idea, I feel unafraid because I genuinely believe in what I do as a job.
And it helps, I'm sure. I mean, I know it helps me get out and do things, I'm very apprehensive, like to stop into a place like this. If I didn't have a job to do it, it would be very hard for me to come here. Very, very hard for me to come out of my shell and do all this stuff. But since I have a purpose and a job and it's something that I do, it makes it very easy for me to do. So I hope that when the people leave these locations, they start finding something that's, something that helps them acclimate, I guess. Because I almost look at this as wearing a coat. I put my winter coat on here. This is my defense mechanism is all this equipment that's around me.
Sure.
And I can actually make eye contact with you and talk to you. But if it weren't this, I would be looking away and looking off and I wouldn't be able to make eye contact with you. It's the weirdest thing. But now that I have this coat, it's there. So I'm hoping that people leave this and they have that, they're getting those skills that help them cope in their life.
Exactly, and that is a huge point of our program, our day service program and our vocational program, is that we teach the skills that the person can pack up and take home on the weekends, at nighttime, how, like, just as simple as what we were learning today is washing dishes, approaching that with a bit more confidence. Or something maybe a little bit more complex, such as how to handle like a workplace situation with a difficult customer. I will not always be standing behind the person, assisting them and giving them guidance on how to handle the situation. The hope is that they take the information and what we've taught and apply it into their own lives.
So we're fairly far into this little interview here, about 20 minutes in or so. Anything you want to bring up that I haven't brought up with you so far? Something like, I needed to say this, or I wanted to mention this aspect, and I don't want to put you on the spot. I like to give that option at this moment, just in case I'm forgetting something or not bringing something up.
I'm thinking.
That's fine. Take your time. There's no rush whatsoever. I understand. You got to cover all the bases. And there's all these little crevices in your mind you got to go through. I get that.
I guess I do want to add one more thing, is that Community Connections, ETA program, we tailor the program around the individual. We really take into consideration what the person enjoys doing, and we edit the program to reflect that. We have a participant who's really into recycling. Robin ordered, divider bins for recycling, and now we're recycling. We're going to do a lesson about what can be recycled or what can't be recycled, and that person's going to help me do it. So it's when someone approaches us with an interest or a passion, we really like to fuel those, because our main goal is having good days and being a safe space for people.
And everybody can take note of that. I mean, pursue your passions. It's important. I mean, your passion may not get you the lifestyle you want, so to speak, or the money you want, but the passion's going to make you much, much better mentally following your passions, by all means. And it's great that you find because people don't ask that when you go. When you go to school, they don't ask what your passion is. They didn't really care what my passion was. Yeah. It was like, here, study this and do this. But no one ever asked me what I cared about. And I know that I don't find interest in something until I have a passion about it, and it's great that you do that. So in the years you've been here, what are some of your, I don't know, success stories you find? I mean, they're all success stories, don't get me wrong, but is there anything that really stuck out in your mind that someone like, wow, they just made such progress, or some, they're probably all that way. I mean, it's like picking your favorite child, but is there any stories that come out to you?
Well, more recently, I started a program, I call it an internship. So I choose, my team and I choose 4 people who have been with us, gone through the program, working through the motions, show leadership skills and seriousness, and we provide them with a community job being paid at Ohio State's minimum wage for X amount of hours for 2 days. And it's a confidence builder, and it's something that people can put on their applications or resume to move on to the next job. And I think that's really important because just getting your foot in the door to get employed is tough, especially for someone with a developmental disability. So having that connection already, and having done the tax forms already, having already like gotten the taste of what getting your first paycheck is like, is a really big confidence builder. So I'm really happy about that, and I am, of course, always looking for new opportunities for that, the internship program. So it's like 6 months, they work, and they have that experience under their belt.
It's a wonderful, getting a little experience as confidence goes so far in life. I mean, it really changes someone's life, getting a little bit of confidence, and then once you realize, oh, I can do this, and then that hurdle is overcome. It's a wonderful thing. Excuse me. Not to get into a political sense aspect, but with DEI, does this affect, do you feel?
I'm sorry?
With disability aspect, with DEI and the hiring, they're taking away DEI hiring across the board, which is hiring anybody with disabilities, minorities, things of that nature. I don't know if that's something I'm hoping that businesses will just step up and do the right thing, but I wonder when they're not forced to, when they're not told you have to be inclusive any longer, if that's going to make a big difference. I mean, is that something that alarms you at all, or anything that's on your radar at this moment, or?
At the moment, it's not. It's hard to think about.
I mean, it is something that's very new, and it may be benign for all we know. It may be something. I mean, we don't know how this is going to pan out.
Exactly.
But in theory, a business could say, "I'm not going to hire anybody that I don't want to hire at all," and there's nothing that anybody can do about it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, that can be really scary, because everybody deserves a place to board, and everybody can make a better place too. Everybody provides an element. Yeah. Everybody provides something that somebody else doesn't. So it's inclusive. Inclusivity is very important to me.
And that's why we try to get out into the community. There are so many benefits with hiring someone with a developmental disability, intellectual disability, structure. Our guys really like a structured. They're very consistent. A lot of our guys work really hard and do a phenomenal job, regardless of disability. So, but again, it's just getting your foot in the door. That's the hardest thing. So someone may be more apt to hire someone with a disability when they see that they've already had experience. Like, oh, they've worked before, they know how to follow instructions, they know how to follow rule. And they may be more willing to hire someone with a disability onto their workforce. But yeah, what you're talking about is a bit unfathomable right now. So.
And that being said, everybody deserves a chance. Everybody, you never know how that one person is going to change something, change the morale, change everything in there, change the way things happen, because they see things different than everybody else is saying. And they might see something that's inefficient that you didn't notice. There's a lot of things that can be changed. And there's nothing wrong with little kindness, compassion, be nice to people. Everybody's going through something, whether it's visible or non-visible. Just, treat people equal, treat people well. That's my biggest takeaway in everything in life. And and this applies in many ways, treat people, no matter what you think of them, no matter how visually they may come off to you, treat people with respect and dignity, because they're just like you and I. They just represent a little differently. Mm-hmm. And I know that what's in here and what comes out here is two different things completely. Yeah. And I function well in society, but I can understand that it's hard to get in, and it's hard to get your doing. It's hard to get confidence in doing things. And like I said, this whole techno stuff, this is my coat, my hide behind that I can do my job and feel confident here. Outside of it, I don't feel that confident. Outside of my little world, this little bubble of myself. Well, thank you for making time with me today. I greatly appreciate it, and thank you for doing what you do. I mean, we need more organizations like this. We need more kindness and compassion in the world, more giving people a chance. Everybody has a place in this world.
100%.
And this is a place that's going to help people find those places. So thank you for doing what you do. I greatly appreciate it. And thank you for making time for me today.
Totally. Thank you.